The Chicago Bears signed phenomenal safety Haha Clinton-Dix. I'm sorry. Oh, I couldn't get through it with a straight face calling him phenomenal. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am your host, Tom Grossi, and today we're going to break it down. Some safety action. One happening to our enemies in the north, the Chicago Bears, and of course talk a little safety action with Eric Berry as his name has come up, and fans have asked about, Tom, should we sign Mr. Eric Berry? And we're going to talk about that today. Before we get into that wonderful stuff, there's about 2 weeks left if you want to pick up some Packcast merch. A lot of you have already ordered, and a big thank you if you have. Check out bonfire.com/Packcast to pick up hoodies, shirts, long sleeve shirts. I already said hoodies, jersey tees. And they come in lots of different colors, including for you Bears and Vikings fans. So pick that up if you would like at bonfire.com/Packcast. In addition, thank you to our Patreons, as always, for the support. If you would like to check out the cool rewards and check out stuff that you could do to support me, check out patreon.com/Tom Grossi Comedy. Thank you. Now, first, let's talk about Haha Clinton Dix, because, you know, Bears fans were hitting me up and they were like, hey, Tom, we got your safety. And I would respond, he's not our safety. We traded him for a 4th-round pick. And remember last year when everyone was very upset and they were like, we don't have any safeties to begin with. Why would we trade Haha Clinton Dix? Looks like a pretty good investment now, huh, gang? So, yeah, not the worst thing that Goody McGooton's ever done. But yeah, signed a 1-year, $3.5 million deal with the Chicago Bears. Now, to be completely honest, it's peanuts, right? So that's a good price. I'm not going to call it a steal because what you're getting is not that great. Now, let's talk about it. Former first-rounder, obviously. The negatives right off the bat. He's super duper inconsistent. His tackling needs a lot of work. When he first got drafted, I lauded him in college for his hard-hitting tackling, and I was super excited to get him. That went away. Takes some really bad angles on plays as well. So the inconsistency, which Amos has been praised for his consistency, there's a little bit of a drop there. However, if we're just comparing their stats from 2014 to 2018, Ha Clinton-Dix had 14 interceptions, so he knows how to make big plays. It does happen, right? Just the problem is those plays are sometimes few and far between and come with many mistakes. But he's had 25 passes defended, 5.5 sacks, and 307 total solo tackles. And then with the Redskins, he played 9 games with them this year, and he had 3 passes defended, 1 forced fumble, and 56 solo tackles. Now, compare that to Amos from 2015 to 18. He's only had 3 interceptions, so obviously you guys got a guy who can get turnovers. And he had 18 passes defended, which is very, very close to Ha Clinton-Dix, even though, you know, Ha Clinton-Dix has been in the league 1 year longer than him, and 230 solo tackles, so Amos is pretty close to that as well. Now, here's why I think this might work out for Haha Clinton-Dix, is that you obviously have Eddie Jackson back there, who is a stud in your backfield, and you still have that amazing pass rush. One of the reasons why Haha Clinton-Dix was constantly asked to do all the things he was doing was because we had non-existent pass rush, and we also didn't have cornerbacks, and so then you had Haha Clinton-Dix attempting to do things, which he wasn't able to do. That was a very scientific sentence. He wasn't able to do things that he had to do. Tom Grossi, 2019. And so, the way I look at this right now, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm feeling pretty neutral about it. You got a guy who has that big play tendencies, who can do that, but there is a lack of consistency there. But I wouldn't worry about it too much, considering you already have an amazing safety, you already have a great pass rush, and worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, you only sign him for $3.5 million. So this is kind of just like a prove it deal. Let's see what happens. And who knows, we have lost guys in the backfield before who have then gone on to have Pro Bowl careers. So we'll see what happens there. But again, for all the Bears fans saying like, oh my God, like we got the steal of the free agency. Oh, suck it, Packer fans. I was happy to get a 4th rounder out of him. So yeah, no, you can keep him. I love Ha Clinton-Dix the person, but the player, he's one of the reasons why we lost the 2014 NFC Championship game, because he went after the kicker and during a fake field goal and got out of coverage, and they scored their first touchdown. So have fun with that. Now, in addition to other safety prospects, we have good old Mr. Eric Berry being released by the Kansas City Chiefs at 30 years old. Now, before we get into the negative there, obviously, Eric Berry has had a storied career. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler, 14 interceptions, 367 total tackles, 51 passes defended. Guy hits like a truck. In 2014, obviously, he was diagnosed with cancer. He was able to get treated during the offseason, went into remission, came back in 2015, made the Pro Bowl. Phenomenal story, phenomenal human being, won Comeback Player of the Year. And then in 2017, the Chiefs, obviously loving his production, signed him to a 6-year, $78 million contract, making him the highest paid safety at that time. In 2017, however, though, he did rupture his Achilles and missed the rest of the season. And then in 2018, he was diagnosed with Haglund's deformity, which I had to do medical research for this show, which is a bone spur that apparently digs into your Achilles and is super duper painful. And so because of that, he didn't debut until week 15 of last year. So in case you were just keeping score, Eric Berry has not played. He's played only 3 games in the last 2 years. So that's a bit rough. Now, the deformity is treatable. I could eventually get surgery, but I don't know if he would want to do that. But apparently it's like, changing your shoes and things like that. But apparently it's super duper painful, which is obviously problematic. Right now, our safety lineup, obviously we have Amos, who we just talked about. We have Josh Jones because Kendrell Bryce is gone, and Godspeed. And then we also have Tramon Williams, who's 9,000 years old. And we also had Raven Green, who had, the little highlights that he had. So if you had to pressure me right now to give you an answer, I say you either sign Eric Berry to a 1-year deal and hope that his heel feels better and that, that gnawing that's there and that constant pressure and pain, kind of like Bears fans right now, that they do this to me all of last season, goes away, or you kind of leave him to sign with somebody else. At 30 years old, again, he is just he's a Band-Aid on the actual problem. I don't know how long or how much longer he's going to be able to play, if he's ever going to be able to get back to form. Not being able to play for the past 2 seasons obviously is problematic. And so if I'm the Packers, I say you just draft a safety in the 2nd round, because it really doesn't look like there are many, first-round safeties this year in the draft. So I say you sign one, you put him opposite Amos, you have Tramon Williams, raise him up and on Eagles' wings, except with the Packers, and you take it from there. But Eric Berry, I don't know how. Maybe because he hasn't played in 2 seasons, he would take a 1-year prove-it deal, similar to what Haha Clinton Dix signed. I would think it'd be for more money. So again, I think he's going to end up somewhere. I was reading an article today that potentially it could be the Colts, but all in all, I say we just draft one and take it from there. Hell, maybe we draft 2. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. So you can always check me out at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossi Comedy, or Tom Grossi Comedy on all the social medias, including Patreon, Twitter, and Instagram, and all that stuff. And check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and of course here on YouTube. We'll be back on Monday with episode 5 of Coach. Thank you for all those who are watching it. There's only 2 episodes left in the season, and things are about to get crazy. So we'll be back with some more free agent stuff next week. We'll start getting into some mock drafts, because it's getting to be that time. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go. Double finger guns.